Okay, so now that we have our depth map, let's see our ray trace. When we switch on this ray trace shadows, automatically this depth map gets switched off because Maya understands only one shadow at a time. So let's just render this and see. Okay, there's still nothing. We need some shadow rays in it. Mental ray. Ray trace shadows, they work only on mental ray because on Maya software it's very hard for them to calculate. So for this ray trace option, I'm just going to select mental ray and render it. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Say if I increase this, I just click this option so that I can render only a particular region. If you hover your mouse on top of it, you'll see it says render region mental ray. It's saying mental ray because it's the render that is selected, and render region because I've just selected the region. You can just left click and drag to select a region where you want to render only that particular part. Let's increase this. Okay, too much. Yeah, so this is when it gets softer. If you want it way too soft, then these are the attributes that you need to play with. If you increase this, you also need to increase the shadow rays, the amount of shadows rays that they're gonna pour, or sometimes you need to reduce it. But since that's still way too much, yeah, that's not too bad. Let's just click it, the whole thing, and see how it looks. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so this is our ray trace shadow attributes. Now let's jump into some other light. I'm not going to change it from here. I'm just going to get that box out again. Lights. I'm going to keep it here. I'm just going to delete this light. Render out and see if the whole scene is black. And yes, it is. I'm going to change this to Maya software. Okay. Now I'm going to put an ambient light in there. Let's see how this reacts. Okay. As you can see, it acts way differently than the directional light. This looks very ambientish and very softish and kind of thing. So if you want to, okay, these values, this is new values that we just saw. If you switch this to 1, you'll see that the light is coming only from a single point. If you switch this to 0, it's going to come from everywhere and it's going to blow up the whole scene, which you really don't want. I'm just going to Control C this and go back to the default value 45.45. Okay. The shadow attribute for everything else is the same. This ambient light, it doesn't take depth map shadows, it only uses ray trace shadows. Okay, let's delete this light. Let's put a point light now. Point light are very useful. It acts like a bulb. The best example that I can give is of a bulb. So when I render this, it shows me a point. And I can increase this intensity, of course, by increasing this slider or putting the value that I want to. There is blown. I can again change the color to what I want from here, and light effect. You'll see this in the volume light section. For now, I'm just going to delete this light and put the spotlight. Actually, I'll show you in this, the light effect. Let's get this up. It's pointing in a very, anyway, you won't be able to see because it's pointing in the wrong direction. You see this is an inverted cone. When you do that, this is the points, this is the light source, this little point here, and it's just taking a cone to manipulate the light. So when we render this, we get a small circle there. If I pull this up, I can see what's happening there. So this is our spotlight. It's just like a stage. When somebody is acting or there's drama happening on stage, there's a spotlight on top of them. This is what they use. Well, this is 3D, but this is the kind of technique that they use. So let's see what the cone angle is. Okay, the cone angle, it just increases the angle, the radius of this cone, so that the light pours out wide in a wider direction. So when I click this, you'll see a bigger circle. If I reduce this cone angle and render this, you'll see a smaller circle. Okay, let's increase it to something, yeah, that's fine, 80 probably, round figure. Okay, the penumbra angle. The penumbra angle is the softness of this light. And also, there you go, this is the softness of the light. You usually do this because a spotlight is never sharp, it's always soft. You can increase and decrease this intensity, you can eat inside by doing that, or you can just keep it positive by doing that. This comes pretty handy sometimes, the minus and the plus both. The drop off, when we increase the drop off, let's render this. Oh, that's too much, way too much. 4 is fine, yes. If you increase the drop off, you see that the light intensity over here is brighter, and over here it's kind of fades off. That's because it's going a little softer when it goes near the edge. So when I see the, okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, that's the drop off. Let's go into light effect now, the fun part. I'm just gonna scale this light a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's render this. I'm just gonna kill this drop off because I don't need it. Just gonna render this frame and see how it looks now. Okay, I don't really know where this light is exactly. Now when I click this, it makes a cone shape, another cone shape to it. And when I render this, I can see the light is coming from here and is fading down like this. And it also gives a nice foggy look to it. This is usually used in street lights, lights coming from car headlights. Okay, I can also change the color of the fog. Say this is my light. If I want to change the color, there is a small arrow and square here which I can click, go inside, take the color and change it to pink. And when I render this, you'll see pink color. Let's say yellow, yellow color. So for now, just white. Okay. Let's go down. You can also change the fog spread, of course. The fog itself has attributes to it. So you have this, you say fog spread. and it spreads a little bit more. If you increase the intensity, the fog gets denser and denser. There you see the difference. You can see the light, you can see it's going down because the fog is also going down. You can change it by scaling this.